feel loved. I don't feel respected. And everywhere we went in San Francisco that day, I swear to God, I saw the number 555 like 20 times. It was crazy. I honestly don't think I've seen the same number that many times since then. But it was like everywhere I looked, it's like 5 cookies for 555. And then the taxi cab was like 555. Right when I looked at it, I see a license plate 555. It's like everywhere I was looking, I saw that number. And this is back when I didn't really understand as much about angel numbers, but I knew in my deepest knowing that that shit meant something. I just didn't really know what it meant. And I knew that there was some deeper meaning. So sometimes we're in that learning phase where we're trying to understand and discern the messages. And this is what I've learned is when I have that kind of thing going on, I will pull away from the world and I'll go into stillness in my meditation place and I will ask for deeper clarity and understanding. Or I'll go on a nature hike and I'll just be quiet and I'll ask my angels, please bring me deeper clarity and understanding on this situation. And suddenly consciousness will start streaming through and I will start to understand and know things about the certain situation I'm asking about. So I say this because way back then I was getting those signs. I remember a time where I was free writing, where I was communicating with spirits, like people who had passed on would come and talk to me. And I was just like, what is happening? I just need to keep a notebook about this. So I would tune in meditation. Hey, is anybody here that needs help? I would listen. I would write notes. And then I would just be guided on who to share those messages with. And so I remember one time practicing free writing and my angels were like, it is time to say goodbye. It is time to let go. This is not where you belong. And this was back in like 2002. So I'm just saying there's been so many times when I look back and I'm honest that I know my guides and my angels were telling me guidance, but I was ignoring it and I was scared of it and I didn't believe in myself. And so the ones of you that are really struggling, it's not because your guides aren't helping you. It's not because your angels aren't coming through with messages. It is because at a deeper level, you do not believe in yourself and you don't think you're worthy and you really don't trust. You don't trust the universe. You don't trust that there's enough money. You don't trust that there's enough time. You don't trust that there's enough support. And so because you're really primarily focused on fear, that is what you're experiencing. And that is what's keeping you stuck in those bad relationships. Bad meaning less than exciting and less than joyous. And it's what's keeping you at that job that doesn't respect you. It's what's keeping you as a healer giving it all away and you're not really receiving love and abundance back. And so when you start to realize you deserve and that you are worthy, and then you trust that your angels, when they bring you a sign, that it is sacred and you should really listen to it and go and march confidently in the direction of your dreams and watch how everything starts just happening for you. And it really does. This last week, I quit my job on, well, I guess I gave my notice Sunday morning. I was like, done, not tolerating that. And I said I would give my 2-week notice. It wasn't handled very beautifully, and I was told, don't even bother coming back. Then a couple of days later, I had a meeting with the head manager, and she was very grateful to talk to me so I could share my side of that situation and share my concerns. And she was taking notes and said there was going to be meetings about improving leadership and improving the safety and all this stuff that I was addressing. So I knew I was to be a messenger for greater change. And this happens to me a lot. And sometimes I'm not there to see that change. Sometimes I'm just there to ignite that message and to give it over. And then those changes will happen when they're ready. But I say that in that few days' time, I could have gone into fear. And I know that a lot of you are relating to me at some level. We're probably mirroring this where, let's say some of you have just been challenged and your relationship just ended, or you know that it's time to let one go. Or some of you may be in a job and you know it's never really been very respectful and you don't really feel seen. You don't feel like you can be fully in your power. And so if some of you are letting things go right now or you're feeling guided to, I promise you that as you move confidently in the direction of your dreams with love and eagerness and excitement, and trust that you are on the right path and that your angels love you and they're going to support you for standing your ground and for standing up for what matters to you. If you don't believe you deserve love, you won't really let it come in. You will let relationship after relationship come in that will not give you the love you deserve because at a deep level, you don't feel you deserve it. And if you're working really hard for money and you're on the hamster wheel every week, working, you might get money, but then it's like, where does it go? Or it doesn't feel very fulfilling. Or maybe you work hard and you don't get much money, and it's because you're at some level not believing you deserve it. And you need to take a stand for that, and you need to move in a direction of empowerment. So a couple days after I made this choice, this just last week, I manifested $1,100 in a couple days as a healer, doing what I love, helping the world, helping heal souls at a deep level, helping inspire them as a soul coach, getting them ignited, empowered, and they're benefiting, and so am I. And this is what Tanya Love is here to do. And so, like, the show, what I do as a healer, that's my magic. That's what I love. And so sometimes we will, as humans, take a little vacation from our heaven and go visit hell for a while. Not a true hell, but for me, it was that bike camp and being treated like a slave at a job that I was barely making any money for. And I was only doing it to be helpful, but it felt like it was coming from obligation and like I was being guilted into it. So I've had to really watch that as an empath. I love people and I want to help them. And one of my things I've had to really work on in myself is that I don't let people walk all over me and that I don't just give it all away. Because I am so compassionate and generous that there are times that humans think they can just take advantage of that. So a lot of times in my journey, I've had to be kind of, my guides have challenged me to stand in my power, to speak my truth. And even if that person never wants to change it, it's important for me to speak truth. So the reason I'm sharing this with you guys is that it doesn't have to take long for your magical life to manifest. It doesn't have to take long for you to leave misalignment and just step right into alignment. And that's what I'm mirroring, is that I had zero time that I spent in fear. I did not even entertain thoughts of fear. I have learned that is a waste of my time, my energy, and my joy. But I went into meditation. I slept in a couple days and rested my body from being in the sun so much and being exhausted. And I realized that that week that I was so busy, I couldn't meditate as much. I couldn't connect as much. I felt so scattered. I felt stressed. I came home and cried and broke down. And I remember looking at my husband, I'm like, what is happening to me? Like, this is not my life. And he was just like, baby, then leave. You don't have to stay. And so that's when I started to ask for the signs and everything, because I had kind of gotten myself into a position. And I think that a lot of us as humans, we can do this at times. We mean well. We'll say, sure, I can help out. And then things just, like, the shit hits the fan. It doesn't feel joyous at all. And we need to realize that sometimes it may be because we need to take a stand and not just let someone who's trying to push us around and make everybody else do the work get away with that. And sometimes we have to have the courage to speak truth and to stand our ground. And so I'm going to take a pause and see if anybody wants to call in, or if you guys have anything you want to share, type it in. And then I'll start getting into, like, divination tools, and we'll talk about that. So anything, Amnon?
No, nothing so far, other than the stuff that you were already talking with Cindy about.
Okay. And what did Cindy say? Did you say anything else?
No.
Okay. Well, Cindy, I'm summoning you to call. I was totally, like, encouraging her to call. She's one of my awesome clients that she has very diligently been working with me and really putting in the time and the energy and the effort. And, you know, she has the money to invest. She has the time. She has the job. But she's ready for big changes. And she and I have been working together. And I was talking to her about a lot of this yesterday when we had our call. But she is doing amazing in her life and having great shifts happening. And so I'm not going to pressure you, but I invite you to call if you'd like to share that, Cindy, because I think you could definitely inspire others. And
Let's go, Cindy. Come on, Cindy.
Come on, Cindy. Call us. One of the things I want to talk about, too, with that is, like, sometimes I've seen a lot as a healer. I see people, all different types. Like, there's the types that come in and they're exhausted. And they've been so off the path for so long. And they're like, Tanya, I need to see you. I need to come to see you for meditation. So they'll come to meditation. They're like, oh, God, that felt so good. It's just what I needed. And then I don't see them again for like 3 months. And then they come back, Tanya, I need to see you. Let's do an angel reading. Like, I just feel so emotional. My life's so messed up. We do it. They get guidance to be more centered, to be more consistent to their path. They're gone again. And I see these humans like hummingbirds. And I feel compassion for humans like this because we're so conditioned in our society these days to be in this energy of quick fix. Just like, give it to me, Tanya. We want to go and get someone to just chop 10 pounds off our thighs because we want to lose weight instead of actually work towards that empowerment and empower our body through workouts and how good that feels to work out. And so the same thing applies to the spiritual alignment. People will come in like hummingbirds and they want a little sip of the nectar, a little Tanya magic. And they literally, I have clients that say this, I need some Tanya magic. And I'm like, you can come on in, but I encourage you to stick to the path. And I will tell you 100% truth. The girl, well, mostly it's women. I do have a few male clients as well that I've seen profound shifts, but typically I seem to be drawing in the female energies and I'm welcoming the men. But I have these women, the ones that come in consistently, they come to yoga and meditation consistently. They work with me in the Empowering Empath. They do the full 6 months. The ones that come and do auric clearings and they're coming consistently, soul coaching, like Cindy doing soul coaching consistently. The ones who invest some time, some effort, and some energy, and they have patience to the process, I see profound shifts in these humans. I see them leave lives that were of suffering and of struggle and of depression and sickness and toxic relationships to completely empowering themselves, becoming successful in their careers, successful in their relationships, deep sense of self-love. And I say that not to just be like, hey, come and invest a lot of money with Tanya, but to say that because the ones who are going to see the greatest results, you do invest money, you do invest time, you do invest energy and effort. And if you don't want to, and you're always making excuses, that's why your life is staying stagnant and it's not really shifting much because you're not really investing yourself. I had a guy one time do yoga training with me for 3 months, and he would always be making excuses. The first couple of classes, they were great, and then he was making excuse after excuse how he didn't have time, he was out clubbing, he was too busy, he was this, he was that. And I just was patient with him, and one of the days he came in, I looked at him, I said, you know what? I feel that at a soul level, your soul knows how much yoga and meditation will help you and how being dedicated to this and committed to this path will greatly help you bring balance into your life. Yet, I see that your ego side is so in charge of you. It's the one calling all the shots. It's saying, let's go clubbing instead of practice our yoga. It's the one that's saying, you know, I'm too tired and I'm going to go do some other event and be distracted and not show up for my own commitment to my own path. And so I told him, I deeply care about you. I love you, but I don't feel you're ready. And so this is a waste of your time and my time. And I had to release that experience. And he was like, you're right, Tanya, I'm so sorry. And he felt kind of bad. He's like, I feel like I just need to be locked down so that I'll be committed. But really, none of you need to be locked down to be committed. You just need to have commitment. You have to actually care about your own health enough to consistently eat healthy. You have to care about your wellness enough to actually consistently hang out with the spiritually aligned people that you know lift you up. If you're not feeling good, hanging out with all the people at the club, getting drunk, and you feel like shit every day after, then you got to start recognizing how that is making you feel and how that's actually taking you in the opposite direction of your goal. And I can't make you do that. No matter how magical Tanya is, I cannot make any of you choose that dedication. But I can share very publicly and transparently and truthfully that the ones I see that are having the most successful breakthroughs, they are committed to the path. And this is why I encourage people, don't just come for one healing session. Sign up and get like a soul coaching package. Like commit. It's like going to personal training. You take one personal training session, then you're just out of there. Probably not going to have a great shift. But if you sign up to work with that personal trainer for 3 to 6 months and you have like a plan, you have a certain financial package you want to work on, then you paid for it. You're going to show up. And well, typically, sometimes people still don't show up. But my point is, if you guys put that dedication towards your path and you show up with consistency and dedication, you are going to have profound shifts in your life. And the reason those of you that are suffering that don't really like your life, it's because you're not really investing in your own dreams. If you start investing in your dreams and you start saying no to the things that are obligation and guilt, no to the things that make you sick and that make you feel stressed, No to the people who just want to gossip and talk trash and bring down your energy. And you start saying yes to the ones who lift you up, who raise your vibration, who inspire you, and you start hanging around those energies, you will start to